Ladies and gents, my name is Dr. AC. This is Creativeism movement show and I'm in front of the BBC to challenge power with ideas and creativity. The purpose of coming today here it is because the BBC has been silencing my voice for many years. I mean literally for many years. And like Orwell said, pros and animals are free. Right? Pros and animals are free. So I'm free to come around the BBC but not come inside the news to change the world. There are thugs and drug dealers coming every day. This is my protest with blood. It's literally with blood. Here are the bottles of blood. Look at here. Look what I say here. Bottles of blood. Bottles of blood for the journalists of the BBC, the bloodsuckers. Oppression in all human history. Oppression of ideas is not freedom. This is another message for the journalists of the BBC. Pain, oppression. Pain, in all human history, pain meant oppression. So they had a very definite aim to oppress ideas of creators, philosophers, activists through oppressive definitive force. Like security, for instance. They have the security, they are wolves. When you speak about the security of the BBC, you literally mean wolves. They come to bite you. If you enter inside there, they come to bite you. But there are drug dealers every day coming at the BBC inside. You're not allowed to change the world. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, this kind of oppression is unbelievable and unreal. Even if you live under terrorists, you will not have this kind of oppression that is in London. Even if you live in... Because, why do I think if you live under terrorists? If you live under terrorists, you'll know that they are terrorists, right? But when you live under the oppressive journalists of the BBC, you don't know who they are. They pretend to be the good and the just, but they are not the good and the just. They are fascists, they are Nazis, they are oppressors. You want facts? Of course I can show you facts. I know the people want facts. Look here, DJ Charlie Sloth, he pretends to cut throats. He is the father of thugs. The father of thugs at BBC Radio 1 Extra and BBC Radio 1. He cuts throats, he literally cuts throats. He's a throat cutter, he's just like his friend that he made famous, Jihadi John. He cuts throats. Here is the picture, like I haven't used any Photoshop. Another philosophy, I can show you another fact. I can show you another fact. Here, all the ideas that I'm trying to use to fight against the behemoths, the monsters of the BBC. You need to have lots of ideas to fight against them because they are literal monsters. When you say journalists of the BBC, you say the monsters of knowledge. They operate in very subtle ways. Monsters of knowledge. Journalists of the BBC are monsters of knowledge. For instance, look at Nick Robinson. Look at Nick Robinson. Look, it's funny. Look, Nick Robinson taking pictures with fascist activists. I mean, look how beautiful smile that he has. Nick Robinson. Have you ever seen Nick Robinson? Takes pictures with fascist activists. He's a famous journalist of the BBC, you know what I'm saying? Just letting you know who he is. I mean, I can show you some other ideas. Facts. These are all facts. Facts. And this is the BBC. You can look at the BBC. This is mean power. They control the main means of mass information. Here is my phone. Ladies and gents, here is my phone that was smashed by the security of the BBC on 14th of October 2016. Why do you think that the big media is not speaking about this? The big media is not speaking about this because they have the same philosophy, the philosophy of 1984. That means the truth means lies. That means that oppression means freedom. That means that creative ideas mean nothing. That good is evil and vice versa. This is the philosophy of 1984. So I'm looking for any journalists here, for any journalists of the BBC. Now I have to start shouting at them. I have to start shouting at them because they don't listen. This is a loudspeaker. This is a loudspeaker. You can see the loudspeaker being prepared for the BBC, for the journalist BBC. I'm leaving for a second my phone here to find my ideas. 1 second. This is Creativeism movement show. I'm in front of the BBC. They are called the neo-Nazis, neo-imperialists, neo-fascists that use power to silence reason. These are all facts, facts and facts. Again, facts and facts. No one cares about the facts. Ladies and gents, my show continues here in front of the BBC. I'm looking for a new journalist to make a few questions. No journalist coming up. 1, 2. Fascists of the BBC! Today I'm coming here to celebrate the many, many years that you neo-Nazis, neo-imperialists, neo-colonialists have been silencing my voice by force. Fascist journalists of the BBC, where are you to talk to? Last month, the wolves of the BBC, the security of the BBC, smashed my phone. No one from the British media said that. You have created a world of 1984. Sorry, can I make a question, please? Why is the BBC silencing my voice by force? For many, many years.
I don't work for the BBC.
But you can give your opinion if you don't work for the BBC. You are a human being, are you? Are you a human being? Are you a human being? You don't look like a human being. You come to the BBC and go out of the BBC. There is 1984 inside. Fascists of the BBC! New colonialists, new imperialists, new criminals, the very subtle ideas of the journalists of the BBC operating to silence the voice of creators and activists. Ladies and gents, this is Creativeism movement show. I'm here in front of the BBC. Here are the new imperialists, the new fascists, the new Nazis that have been silencing my voice for many, many, many years. Here is the bottles of blood, literally bottles of blood. Where are you bloodsuckers to come to grab some bottles of blood? Journalists of the BBC, I brought some bottles of blood for you, bloodsuckers, vampires. Here is the message for the journalists of the BBC. Vampires come to suck blood. You cannot protest and fight against them. They are literally bloodsuckers. They stop you. They literally hold you, restrict you. You are never allowed to enter in their studios to speak, to challenge them. Sorry, what do you think about the BBC that is silencing my voice by force? This is Creativeism movement show. You are live on Facebook. Everyone does his own job, right? It is 1984. Everyone turns his head down, buries his head just like a very neo-Nazi, very subtle and wise neo-Nazi. Ladies and gents, this is Creativeism movement show. I'm trying to challenge the journalists of the BBC. Literally, I'm founding an activism and movement on my own. Look at this. Look at this. Today I celebrate my silenced voice. Fact life is not art. Another theme that I had here. Blood for oppressors of the BBC. Here is the bottle of blood. Did you see the bottle of blood? War is not peace. I mean, they are trying to say us that war is peace. Russian aggressors, 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 aggressors. The journalists of the BBC, aggressors, aggressors. They want to put us to war. Aggressors, aggressors, aggressors. They raise the blood of the people like through irony and sarcasm. Aggressors, 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 aggressors. And the blood of the people rises at a level where they are ready to go to war and fight against anyone in the world. Aggressors, Russian aggressors, Third World War. Oh, the fascists, very wise Nazis. The middlemen, Orwell called them the middlemen and the higher men. The middleman always changes positions with the higher men. The higher men are the politicians, the middlemen are the journalists. They have studied at the University of Dogs and Pigs. They call them the University of Cambridge, University of Oxford. I call it the University of Dogs and Pigs, the University of Oppressors. They think that you have studied at Oxford and you can be wise. You fascists, wise like you, using your dogs, turn people into wolves. Look at the security. You literally have turned people into wolves. You protect yourself with wolves. Look at your security. In my house in Northwest London, I have no security. They have turned people into wolves and dogs. Look how they stay. They like patrol the BBC. They don't know who the BBC are. The nature has given a big brain by chance in the back of their head. I better do another job than clean the streets of London than be the security of these fascists. This is Creativeism movement. This is Creativeism movement show, ladies and gents. I'm live here at the BBC to challenge with ideas and creativity the fascists, the journalists of the BBC that silence my voice by force. Let me give you what the head of BBC Complaints told to me. He told to me that the BBC is not obliged to invite you in the studios of the BBC, but the BBC is obliged to impose their ideas of thug life in our minds. They literally, that's how they block you, that's how they destroy you. They have exterminated. They have destroyed from the human dictionary. They have wiped out of the English dictionary the good action. They have learned at the University of Pigs and Dogs, University of Oxford and Cambridge, how to sell a story. How to sell a story, ladies and gents. Negative stories, death always sells. So they are focused only on death and negativity. The preachers of death. They have studied at the University of Oxford the worms who become dragons through the reputation of the BBC. And they use the security to wrap themselves up, so I cannot enter inside their studios and disrupt these fascists and talk face to face to the neo-Nazis, the journalists of the BBC. Hello, excuse me, this is Creativeism movement show. Can I make you a question, please? What do you think about the BBC that is silencing my voice for many, many years? You don't know, you are going inside the neo-Nazis, the fascists. They are oppressors. They have turned humans into dogs, into pigs. They protect themselves with wolves. And I am not allowed as a creator, as a philosopher, to challenge with ideas these fascists. I have 20 minutes, 10% battery. 10% battery, and no more battery. I'm here, ladies and gents, to challenge the fascists of the BBC with ideas and creativity. Where are the journalists, the neo-Nazis, that silence my voice by force?
What are you doing? Hello.
I'm creating a show here for the journalists of the BBC that are silencing my voice by force. They are fascists, the journalists of the BBC.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from the planet Earth. This is Creativeism Movement Show. My name is Dr. AC, aka I like to challenge with ideas and creativity all these neo-Nazis of the BBC. They have turned people into wolves, into dogs. They have turned people into security. They call them security, they call them police, and they protect themselves, the thugs. DJ Charlie Stuff makes terrorists and thugs famous, and he has the Metropolitan Police and the security to protect him. Thank you very much. I mean, this is the justice. I call it the justice of the sheep. The justice of the wolves. The justice of the wolves. If you want a hard talk, then let us enter inside the studios, Nazis, and speak. For many, many years, silencing my voice. I want to write a message here live for the journalists of the BBC. and the journalists of the big media. What have they done to our world? They basically have wiped out of human existence the good action, the goodness. They are focused only on negativity and death. They are literally the preachers of death. Let me write something. Journalists of the big media have wiped out, let us write together. Journalists of the big media have wiped out of human existence the good action. Let us note it here down. Have wiped out of human existence good action. Exclamation mark. This is the BBC, this is Creativeism movement show. I'm founding a show and everything on my own. This is a fight against big power, against big monsters, big behemoths. How do they call here in English, in the language of 1984? We are speaking about big power, big monsters, big behemoths, the BBC. So now we take this message, ladies and gents. We take this message and we give it to the wind. The journalists of the big media and of the BBC have wiped out of human existence the good action. They are focused only on death and negativity. So I give to these fascists and to the wolves. Sorry, it didn't come to them. We send to them to read. They have learned to read at Oxford University. They have learned at Oxford University, Cambridge University. It is called the University of Pigs and Dogs. Like pigs and dogs go there and they learn how to silence the voices of other people. They study at Oxford University and they learn how to silence the voice of people. I mean, they are great. Good action, goodness. Let us good. Short. Good is wiped out. Is wiped out. Out. We send it back to this is Creativeism movement show. We send to the fascists who have done this, the journalists of the BBC. They have wiped out of human existence the good action. They have studied at the University of Pigs and Dogs, of the Cambridge University, of the Oxford University, and all they do is silence the voices of creators and philosophers by force. How do they do that? They have turned humans into wolves. They have turned security. They have wrapped themselves in security. They have turned humans into wolves. They bite you. They have wrapped the BBC and they bite you. The journalists of the BBC. Here is all my themes. Bottles of blood for journalists of the BBC. Oppression of ideas is not freedom. Pain in all human history meant oppression. Bloodsuckers, the journalists of the BBC. Ladies and gents, this is Dr. AC, and this is Creativeism movement show. Let us write another message for the journalists of the BBC. Preachers of death, preachers of negativity, journalists. Journalists, preachers of death. Preachers of death. Preachers of negativity. Preachers of negativity. Sorry for the wind. This is the message, again goes to the BBC. Preachers of death, preachers of negativity, the BBC, the journalists of the BBC. Ladies and gents, this is Creativeism movement show. My name is Dr. AC, and these are the new imperialists, the new Nazis, the new fascist journalists of the BBC that have been silencing my voice for many, many years. I mean, literally, they are Nazis. And we know how they do that. They do it, they have security, and they have the police. They have security. They have turned humans into dogs, into wolves. They bite. They bite. Ladies and gents, this is Creativeism movement show. Sorry for the battery, sorry for the wind, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna challenge power with ideas and creativity. Here are the messages. Oppression of ideas is not freedom. Bottles of blood for journalists of the BBC. Pain in all human history meant oppression. Bottles of blood for the journalists of the BBC. Any blood sucker who want to come to suck blood, let me give this message live to them. Bloodsuckers, journalists of the BBC, I brought bottles of blood for you. You wanna grab one? It is free. Whomever is a journalist for the BBC is bottles of blood for the vampires who have been silencing my voice for many years. I'm just not allowed to come in their studios, the bloodsuckers, the journalists of the BBC. This is the BBC, bloodsuckers. They play with one another. They have the wolves. They have rubbed themselves with wolves. They call them security. This is Creativeism movement show. I'm looking for any Nazi, any fascist, any new imperialist, new colonialist to come down here to talk. But they do it in their own way. They do it with wolves. They show you the wolves. They show you how reason can be silenced by force. These are the Nazis. The monster power. It starts with B, a B, C. It can be replaced with do, shame. DDS. One says BBC can be replaced. How can I help you, sir?
How are you?
How can I help you?
You okay?
I'm good, I'm just protesting.
Just so you know, this is being recorded, audio and video.
Hey, you are recording, you are live here. Are you coming to stop me?
Yes. So, yeah.
Why are you coming to stop me?
Yeah, what are you up to?
They are making thugs famous here at the BBC. They make thugs famous at the BBC. They make terrorists famous at the BBC, Radio 1 Extra, Radio 1.
Okay.
And they don't take responsibility, so I come to talk to them.
Okay, have you registered your protest, sir?
Yes, I've registered on Twitter.
Have you got a reference number?
I haven't got a reference number. Have you got a reference number for those who make terrorists famous here at the BBC?
Okay, listen.
You as a police officer?
Yeah, I appreciate your protest, okay?
Yeah.
However, there is some reports for disturbances.
The disturbance. But how about the...
Yeah,
So we disturb, like this, we disturb always. Like you don't disturb, we disturb.
there is, yes, sir.
We disturb always. Like the drug dealers here, the BBC Radio 1 Extra, they don't disturb. Ladies and gents, that's how they bring police. Like oppression. This is called oppression. Like pain in all human history, oppression. Straight away, police, right? They make drug dealers famous there. They make terrorists famous at the BBC. Still, they bring police here. Yeah, of course, the oppression of this is alright. They just want to say oppression is alright. If they say to me, I give you my ID. 1 second. Just let me tell you. Oppression. That's how it works. Oppression. In all human history, it was called pain. They have turned humans into wolves, right? They are wrong themselves, but they say that good is evil. They say that war is peace. They say that thug life is art. They say that like freedom is slavery. This is the philosophy of the present day world. I'm ending my protest. I mean, you cannot deal with power. This is called power, evil power, the BBC. Ladies and gents, this is my protest for the today. It ended with the police coming here. Thug life is not art. Blood for the journalists of the BBC who have been silencing my voice for many, many years. As we know, in all human history, oppression, pain meant oppression. That's how the police officers came to oppress me. They came to tell me that pain in all human history in 2000 years meant oppression. Absolutely, just pain meant oppression. Let me tell you the truth.
Yeah, you've told
Pain, you know, have you ever heard the word pain?
Yes.
Pain means oppression. That's what it means, oppression. Ladies and gents, my name is Dr. AC. This is Creativeism movement show in front of the BBC. And what does it mean? It means to challenge power with ideas and creativity. Because power in all human history had a very, 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 very definite aim: to oppress the real good and the just by pretending that they are the good and the just. This is the BBC. And today, I'm trying to protest and give out the message that the journalists of the BBC, the neo-Nazis, neo-imperialists, neo-colonialists, neo-fascists have been silencing my voice for many, many years. I mean, I'm allowed to come here like Orwell said. You know what Orwell says? Orwell says that proles and animals are free. Like a prole and animal, I'm free. Excuse me, sir, can I make you a question, please? You are a journalist of the BBC, I think.
Yes, I am.
The BBC has been silencing my voice for many, many years. What do you think about?
I've had a bad day. I can't cope with that.
I guess that you are not cis because you are silencing my voice with your reputation and force. I'm entitled to make you a question, right? Just like you make questions to the entire world. You are but fascists. Let me look your face. Look. Listen, just look at the fascists. They want to make questions to the entire world, but they don't accept questions. Have a nice day. Have you ever heard this word pain? In all human history, pain meant but oppression. And today, I came here in front of the BBC to protest against the power of the BBC and the journalists of the BBC that have been silencing my voice for many, many years. Basically, they have been oppressing me by force and a reputation. And this is the way that I do it, with bottles of blood for the bloodsuckers, the journalists of the BBC. There is no other way that you can fight or protest against these monsters but ideas and creativity.